So let's start with Georgi, pronouns he, him, calling in all the way from Bulgaria, who is a theist who says that God is not what we think. Georgi, you are on the line with Forrest and Blitz. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
Awesome. So what God do you believe in that you're telling us is not what we think?
Well, in my point of view, my first point is that God is alone, and therefore, by definition, he doesn't have awareness.
Okay. That doesn't really answer my question. What God is alone and unaware?
The one God, the pure existence.
But is that a God, or is that just the universe?
Existence itself, pure existence.
That just doesn't sound like it's a God.
Yeah, let me just ask some follow-up questions here to make sure I'm understanding. This God, you said it lacks awareness. Is it conscious?
No.
Okay, so it's not conscious.
He's alone.
Can it make... Okay, so there's another question there. Can it make decisions?
He's infinite, pure existence.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question. Can he make decisions?
No, he cannot.
Okay. Can he cause anything to happen? Can he do anything? Does he have any agency?
He is everything and everywhere. Infinite points of view.
You've made that clear. That's not what I asked you. Can he do things?
He's already there. He's everything.
So when anything happens, it is because this God caused it, or because this God is that thing that happened?
This will circle back to evolution. So my second point of view is...
I would appreciate you just answer the question I just asked you.
No, he's like asleep, you know?
Right, that's not what I asked you.
No, so ask me again.
Okay, you said, I asked you initially, can God do anything? And your answer to that 2 times in a row was he is everything. So my follow-up clarifying question was, when you say that, do you mean that when something happens, anything at all, that is because God caused it? Every single thing that happens is because God caused it? Or do you mean to say that everything that happens is this God? So it doesn't matter what caused what. God is this thing that happened. Or is there some other interpretation that you have?
I do not believe in time. I think time is an illusion.
That's not the answer to my question. Do you agree that things happen?
Mechanically, they do not happen.
Do you agree that events occur? Like right now, we are having a conversation, right? Do you agree that this event is taking place? We are having a conversation right now.
I believe each moment is eternal.
Okay, it sounds like you're having a fundamentally hard time just answering a straight question here. And I have other questions for you, but they're not going to go anywhere if we can't just get a simple, straight answer to a simple question. Blitz, do you have something that you want to ask before I move on to a different line of questioning?
Yeah, so this thing that you believe in, is it functionally different from the thing that I believe in, namely the universe? Does it have any additional properties beyond just existing and containing stuff that obey physical laws?
Existence is not subject to time.
Does that answer my question? Do you think that answered?
Excuse me?
Do you think that answered my question? I was asking, do you functionally or do you believe in anything that I don't, functionally speaking?
Can you repeat?
Yes. So look, I'm an atheist. I'm some sort of physicalist, which means that I think that there's a universe that exists that has stuff in it, and that stuff obeys some set of or follows some set of laws or descriptions or what have you. Now, it sounds like you're describing a god, but as far as I'm concerned, the god that you're describing is functionally identical to the thing that I'm referring to when I say the universe. So does the thing that you're describing as God, does that have any different features than what I think of as the universe?
The God I'm talking about encompasses all existence, all dimensions, infinite points of view.
So no?
No, yes, no.
What?
Okay. He said no, yes, no. So I'm guessing that meant no. Because there were more no's than yeses. So I guess the first two cancel each other out. Who knows? Georgi, if this universe, if everything that exists can be called a god in the way that you're doing it, and that it is functionally indistinct from what Blitz and I agree exists, which is the universe, and this universe is not conscious and not aware and can't make any decisions, why does it have he him pronouns?
Because these questions arise in a time-space reality.
Explain to me. Explain to me how that answers my question. I would like you, please, Georgi, repeat what my question was, and then start a complete sentence saying, "Here's how now what I just said to you fills in the void of ignorance in that question." Tell me how that answers the question that I asked.
You asked me why does this God have he, him pronouns?
Okay. So we know you heard the question. Now, how does your answer actually fulfill the problem of that question? How does that solve the question?
Well, I'm just mentioning that we need to call him something.
Why not her? Why not it?
Seems right.
It seems right to assume that the entire universe is a man.
No. Anything you want.
But you still said he, not she. What do you think? What if she doesn't want to be called he? How would you know what she wants?
I truly don't know.
Are they capable of wanting anything?
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure he said earlier on that she can't make any decisions, so how could she have any wants?
It doesn't.
Last question I have for you, Georgi, and then I think I'm good, is, unless Blitz is curious, but it just if Blitz and I, as atheists, can look at the universe and have a completely mechanistic and materialistic and potentially nihilistic view of what it is, and just say, all right, this is just there's no meaning, there's no magic, there's nothing else beyond, this is just everything we know right here, we've got it covered, and we have that understanding of the universe. And you can have the exact same thing, but also say, and it's also a guy. Why is there this necessary step to add personhood to the universe? Why call the universe God in the first place if it functions perfectly fine without that hypothesis, without that assumption put upon it?
Well, what I was saying is that there is nothing outside of the one God. So it has no awareness.
How do you know?
By definition, he's alone. It's alone.
Blitz, you're a physicist, as far as I know, as far as you've told me. I trust you. Is there anything outside of the universe?
As far as we can tell, no, by definition.
Okay. Is there any way to certainly know that, or is that something that's just like as far as we can tell kind of thing?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like kind of true by definition, insofar as you define the universe to be all the things that physically exist. But you could absolutely say that there's like bubble universes that are separated by like vast swaths of empty space, and then you might say that those are different universes.
Okay, cool. Georgi, does that sound like the God that you believe in?
Pretty much,
Little
yes.
bubble gods, little bubble gods that exist.
He encompasses. Oh, it. I'm sorry.
Right. So what I've gotten from this conversation is that you believe in the exact same thing that we do. You just call it God. And it doesn't do anything, and it can't do anything, and it can't think, and it can't decide, and it doesn't even know it exists. You just call it that. I don't understand why you would waste your time with this extra baggage of assuming that something exists that has absolutely no consequence or doesn't do anything.
My point of view is that everything is here and now, and mechanically, time and space do not exist.
That doesn't answer the question that I just asked you.
It's also a whole can of worms.
Yeah. Do you want to dig into that can of worms at all, Blitz? You're more equipped for that than I am.
I don't think it's relevant for the conversation, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I've learned very little here, Georgi. I've learned what you think about space-time and stuff. But that doesn't really answer any questions for me.
Well, all we have access to is awareness. And we are eternal beings. We're the first beings that have awareness, and we have infinite awareness.
So I'm just a lowly physicist.
What?
Maybe, Forrest, you can answer this, but I'm pretty sure that humans are not eternal. But maybe you know more about biology than I do.
You know what? In all my years studying biology, I don't think I've ever said or heard anyone say that humans are eternal. We have a pretty set lifespan, and even our entire species has only been here for about 200,000 years, and even our entire genus, everything you could call a human, is about 2.6, maybe 2.8 million years. So, but I guess that doesn't really make any sense considering the fact that Georgi also said that events don't exist. And all of time and space, every moment is eternal. Georgi, when you say that, are you talking like Zeno's paradox kind of situation?
I have not heard of that. I'm sorry.
Zeno's paradox was the idea, in essence, if I were to shoot an arrow, at a target over there, the distance between me and that target has a set number, and that number has a half, and then there's a half of that, and a half of that, and a half of that, and I can take half and half and half and half infinite amounts of times, and the number will get infinitely small, but it is still a number that's greater than zero. And therefore, because there is an infinite amount of numbers greater than zero, no matter how small, there is an infinite distance between me and that target, and so the arrow can never get there. And when we do the same thing with time, there is an infinite amount of time. If I divide the time it takes for the arrow to get there in half again and again and again, an infinite amount of times, the number is infinitely small, but never zero, and therefore there's an infinite amount of time when I shoot the arrow. Therefore, each individual moment and each individual instance between any 2 points is an infinity of time and an infinity of space, and therefore no moments, no motion, no time, none of that can logically exist. That's Zeno's paradox from back in the ancient Greek times. Is that where you're getting this concept that time doesn't exist, or do you have a different way of getting around that?
Not precisely. Another way of saying it is we have a campfire, and we have wood, and then we have ashes, and it's not so apparent that wood becomes ashes.
Well, that's a separate question, right? That's Hume's. I think is it Hume, who was talking about the non-provability of causality. But that's kind of a separate question than the the existence of space-time, right? Space-time can still exist even if you don't have causality.
It also sounds almost like maybe I'm misinterpreting this because I don't have that background with Hume, but like it sounds like the ship of Theseus kind of situation. Like this one bit of wood becomes ash, and this next bit of wood becomes ash, and when does it stop being wood? And blah 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 blah. Like this sounds to me like you're just getting hung up on like these concepts and not just embracing what reality is, and you're giving identities and personalities to just physical things. And I don't understand why you would do that. Do you get any benefit out of this? Do you get any better understanding of the universe out of this? Is this a model that you can then make better predictions out of and come up with a better understanding of reality? Like, what does this do for you, Georgi?
Well, this is a loaded question, but I would say first that all we have access to is awareness.
I'm sorry. How is that a loaded question?
Because I have thoughts in my mind that appear. So the question, some of the question you're asking appear in a time-space perspective.
So you're accusing me of coming into this with presuppositions, that I'm using my worldview to ask you questions about the utility of your worldview, assuming by my worldview that utility is a good thing. Is that what I'm hearing?
Can you repeat that?
It sounds like you're saying that my worldview is that we exist in space-time, and I am judging your statements and your point of view here from my position as someone who believes in the existence of space-time. And so therefore you're calling that loaded. That's what it sounds like you're saying, but I can't be sure. So I'm trying to give you every benefit of every doubt here and summarize what I think you're saying. But I'm asking you for clarification so I don't straw man your point.
My point of view is that we have created physical reality because it provides us an opportunity to view ourselves from a new point of view.
So you're an idealist. You think that reality is created by us?
Correct.
It definitely sounds like it.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're in a totally different situation. Can you give me one example, Georgi, of a mind which exists outside of matter? Or independent of matter, I should say.
All right. So let me first say that I do not believe that matter exists.
Okay.
What do you believe?
It's everything I say, right? Can you give me an example of a mind that I can say that Blitz and I can look at and say this is a mind that exists independent of matter? Can you give me an example of that at all?
Yes, of course. First,
okay, what is it?
You have to reach for a frequency, for an idea. And then that idea becomes reality.
God damn it. Now we're on frequencies. And also that didn't answer my question.
Is currently
you said I would have to reach for a frequency. I am not a mind independent of matter. My mind is bound to matter.
You're the infinite universe.
Okay, so it's freaking, what's that guy? Manly Paul or something like that. That guy that was like, "Fuck, don't you know you're running the sun every moment, and you're spinning the galaxies, and everything is connected, and you right now are making the whole universe work by your very existence, and so is everybody else." That guy. That's the Alan something is the same Alan Watts, it's the same kind of thing. Yeah, Georgi, it's 20 minutes now, and I feel like all that's happened is every single time I try to give you an out, you tell me you don't believe that thing exists. And every time we try to get to the next step of really understanding where you're coming from, you stack on the next level of just kind of like woo-woo science of, frequencies and everything's eternal and you are the universe. And it's, yes, metaphysics, which I'm sure
that.
Which I believe you just used that word, assuming that was like a solid thing that we could latch onto, when really you might as well have said the word spiritualism. It means the same nothing. It's spiritualism that read the cover of a physics textbook. So I feel like we've gotten really nowhere, and we haven't learned even how to repeat back to you what you believe in. And that's, I've been asking you sincere questions, and I feel like you've given me nothing here, and certainly haven't given me a reason to believe what you believe. So I would like to try to talk to you again someday. If you could please try to just consolidate what you believe and why you believe it, and give me, more than anything, the thing that I want to know is, why is your view necessary and helpful? Because if you just believe the exact same thing that Blitz and I believe, but at a totally different angle with all this interconnection and stuff that we like, I just want to know what that does for you scientifically. Does that help you learn anything? Does that better explain anything about the universe? If not, I don't understand the utility of the belief. And that's a totally different question as to whether or not it's actually true. Blitz, do you have any final questions for Georgi?
Yeah, Georgi, what I would suggest is, it sounds like you're trying to affirm a view that is similar to, say, Spinoza's view on God. So perhaps go read some of Spinoza's work and then see if that rings true with you. And then you could at least come back and say, I believe in Spinoza's God. And then there's something to talk about.
Yeah, that would be interesting for sure. All right, Georgi, thanks so much for calling in. Maybe talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't know what just happened for the past 20 minutes.
Pretty sure he's an atheist. He's an atheist who's also an idealist.
It's bizarre. But then if he's calling the whole universe God, because that's I've heard theists, like diehard theists, say that kind of stuff, and then also try to squeezle in Jesus. And so I don't know. Maybe I should have asked him that. Is the Bible true? And maybe that could have helped us out a little bit. Like,
that would have been a good one.
It's very tough.
Hey, do you think this clip just fell out of a coconut tree? No. It did. Okay, now technically I did build the channel into a coconut tree and it did fall out. And also that our internet router is up there. Actually, in a lot of ways, this production fell out of a coconut tree. But we could only afford that because people like you supported us for $5 a month over where is that, Eric?
Patreon.com/calltheline, and
that's right.
Jimmy will,
you got it.
Yeah, be grateful. Yeah.
We have an exclusive patron podcast over there. Check it out. Thumbs up with it, Eric. We talked about this in the meeting. We have to both.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go.